So Nisa and Oliver go to the monastery. Merlin, they just happen to find Merlin there. They both attack Merlin. Merlin gets away, but not before Oliver puts a tracker on Merlin. Back at the lair, Laurel talks to Oliver, says that he should have killed Merlin, and then Oliver explains he doesn't kill anymore, he's no longer a killer. So Laurel goes to Nisa and tells her to kill him. They track down Merlin to an abandoned building. He isn't there. This is Oliver now. This is Oliver by himself. He gets a call from Merlin telling Oliver to meet him in the city, somewhere in the middle of the city. And this is a very good scene between Oliver and John Barrowman. It really highlights how strong of an actor John Barrowman is, and he's arguably probably the best actor this show has, if not, I mean, currently, if not ever on this show. He's the best actor they probably ever had. So he denies killing Sarah, and he claims it wouldn't make sense that he would kill Sarah, with all that's going on between him and the League. That would only get him more pissed off at him, and he swears on Thea's life that he didn't do it, and that he only came back to Starling City for Thea, because Oliver could have possibly got her killed with his whole feud with Slade, and that's the reason why Slade attacked the city. So, sounds reasonable, but then again, it is fucking Malcolm Merlyn, who's a fucking terrorist villain, so, I mean, can you really trust the guy? So Oliver talks to Thea about Merlin, and Thea she still doesn't say anything to Ollie about how she's been hanging around with the dude. So Ollie meets with Nisa again next, and he explains that Merlin swore on Thea's life that he didn't do it, so Oliver believes him, but Nisa doesn't. Nisa goes after Merlin anyway, and Oliver begins to go after Nisa, but Deagle stops him, and he explains to Oliver that he should just let Nisa kill him, because Merlin's an asshole, and, he wouldn't have to break his code about not murdering. I mean, Diggle, he's always been Oliver's voice of reason, so in this case, I would listen to the fucking dude. Just let her kill Merlin. Merlin's an asshole. He is a bad guy. What harm is it gonna do to kill the dude? I mean, granted, he may have not had anything to do with Sarah's murder, but at the end of the day, the guy's a bad guy, and he's probably gonna do something bad again. And especially since he didn't exactly destroy the Glades like he wanted to. And at the season 1 finale, he threatened Oliver about contingencies. He has contingencies. Maybe he has a contingency to, again, try to destroy the Glades or something, or do something else that's very nefarious. Just let the fuck die. Kill the motherfucker. Something. Do something. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so Nisa ambushes Roy and Thea, and she kidnaps Thea for leverage to get Merlin out of hiding. Smart. So Oliver figures out where Thea is being held hostage, and Oliver frees her. So Nisa and Oliver get into a fight. Merlin shows up. Then Merlin and Oliver fight Nisa. This is a very, well choreographed scene. It's very cool and everything. And together they take out Nisa. So Merlin, he fires some arrows at Nisa and pins her against a wall. So now Oliver gets the upper hand on Merlin. Okay, so now, here we go. So you think Oliver is going to do something here. He's either going to have to kill the motherfucker, he's either going to have to kill Merlin, or at least take him into custody, police custody, Argus custody, something, anything. Anything. Take them into their own custody. Anything, right? So this is the scene. This is the scene that forever ruins Arrow. This is how fucking dumb it is. Okay, so anyway, so he has Merlin cornered, and then Merlin points out that no prison can hold him because he's just that badass. So, and then, of course, Oliver, he's sworn not to kill. So what does Oliver do? Okay, Merlin, you're free, but I'm gonna keep my eye on you, you very bad man. You're off free, scot-free. Now, since when has Oliver Queen done this to any villain ever up to this point? He's never just let the bad guy go. What the fuck? And it's like, okay, fine. Okay, it ever occurred to you that maybe Merlin's lying? Maybe that's just a bunch of supervillain bravado about how that no prison can hold me or anything. I mean, don't you think? I mean, wouldn't you just make the effort anyway? And then on top of that, later in the season, we get this episode about Oliver and how he's become, Jack Bauer, and he loves to torture people. Well, why don't, just to prove the point that, of he's either guilty or not guilty, why don't you capture him? And then why don't you, do something like you'll find out that then and there whether he actually did it or not. This is baffling to me. It makes no sense. Do something. Put an arrow through his leg. Anything. I mean, put him. What I would have done is, just that. Put an arrow through his freaking leg and put him in the fucking Argus prison. I mean, at least do something. Be proactive. And also, too, this is also indicative of another problem with the writing this season, and it becomes even more apparent going when we get into the second half of the season. For some reason, Oliver implicitly trusts Merlin. Like, he just takes his word for things. And it makes Oliver seem foolish, and there's no reason for Oliver to trust the guy. He's a terrorist villain. Why is there, this weird trust with Merlin? I mean, what, he's family or something? The guy tried to kill your father. He pretty much killed your father. He killed your best friend. And he kills someone else. Hey, no, getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so, in itself, okay, maybe this scene isn't that bad. But this blows my mind, right? Okay, so this, okay, so I'm doing these I'm reading these episode recaps, and I believe it's Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, Entertainment Weekly, and this guy named Chancellor Agard does these recaps, and this is easily the worst scene in the whole episode. But they're defending this. And I mean, just reading this, okay, it says that, okay, quote, forcing Oliver to stand by his moral code reveals just how smart Arrow has become in 50 episodes. And the scene that do depend on this to kill or not to kill debate are bolstered by everyone's strong performance. Are you kidding me? No. Yeah, okay, this is the 50th episode and things, and it's just like, if this scene shows how dumb this show has gotten after 50 episodes. Like, it started off smart, now it's stupid. Like, it's another option. He didn't have to kill the guy. I mean, it says here in the episode recap, it's like, oh, well, it would have been stupid to kill Merlin off after, 4 episodes into the third season. And I'm like, yeah, fine, but he should have did something. And yeah, and this scene in itself, it may not seem that bad. It may be one of those things where I've said before, well, I'll give him a pass on that. Okay, well, let's just say for now, for the sake of argument, we're going to give him a pass on this. But it isn't until the 9th episode of this season, I'm biting on my tongue to not talk about this episode until I get to it, because it's not until then will you see the depth of the fucking bullshit writing. Because it takes them another 4 episodes to follow up on the events of this episode, which in itself is a problem. So I apologize in advance if the next few videos are going to be kind of boring. Because I gotta trudge through these episodes 5 through 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes, useless episodes. And I'm also going to be talking about episode 108 of The Flash as well, since it has enough Arrow characters and there's a lot of Arrow kind of stuff going on in the episode that I would call it an Arrow episode. So yeah, I mean, it's just and you'll see when we get to episode 9 why this is a very strange place to insert a bunch of filler episodes. And there is some talk of the overarching storyline of the murder of Sarah and all that, but in the 9th episode, it's all revealed to be completely superfluous anyway. So in turn, episodes 5 through 8 just seem completely superfluous, and they were just wasting your time. In a way, I mean, it's fine to have some filler here and there. I mean, you do get some character development stuff, but the placement's just very weird. But we'll get to that. So, anyway, getting back to the episode. At the very end, Nisa meets with Roz, and okay, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. We'll get back to this. Roz, and this is the first time we see Roz Al Ghul and actually physically see him in the show. He says to Nisa that Sarah was never truly one of us. Remember that. So he thinks very little of Sarah. Keep that in mind. And that the Arrow is courting war with the League for protecting Merlin. So, yeah. So that's the show, that's the scene that forever ruins Arrow. And I say, other than that scene, that was a very good episode. That was probably the last good episode this show ever had. Or at least the last good episode of the show, at least that I've seen up to the 9th episode, which is a total pile of horseshit. I can't wait to get to that episode. Right? I'm biting my tongue talking about it. So our next episode is episode 305, which is called The Secret Origin of Felicity Smoke. And a bit of trivia. This episode was originally going to be called Oracle. And I guess they changed it the last second, I guess, because maybe the guys at Warner Brothers and DC finally realized that they were sneaking in Batman shit when they were told no. I guess maybe that was a little too on the nose. They finally got the balls to tell him, no, you can't name the episode Oracle. We said no to the Batman stuff. Remember? So for those of you that don't know, Oracle is kind of Batman's Felicity Smoke. And they have this eventual plan of doing Birds of Prey in this universe. And they've already got Huntress. They already got Black Canary. But, of course, they got the Batman embargo, which apparently doesn't mean shit because they can just write Oliver Queen as Batman. So they got Oracle, but they can't use Barbara Gordon Oracle. Instead, they're going to use Felicity as the Oracle character.